Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's look at the chart. Let's look at everything we've been talking about in the last few videos and how we can keep the Bitcoin chart simple, because right now there is a lot of FOMO, there's a lot of, crazy liquidity going on, and a lot of, uncertainty when it comes to understanding the Bitcoin price. So let's take a look at it in a simple way so we can not be overwhelmed and actually be better set off with our understanding of Bitcoin, at least in my opinion, so we can make well-informed trading decisions, right? Because that's the most important thing, is well-informed trading decisions. Now, you guys already know, if you've been watching, my bull case is I'm expecting Bitcoin to go much, much higher this year. But until we do, we need to see a proper correction to factor in this amazing rally that we've seen. Now we have started that correction and we are still progressing through it. Now I gave you guys examples of what this can potentially look like with this example right here, where we made a a confirmation of a higher low that started a much higher climb, which is something that we could potentially be looking at in the future as well. But this higher low came, it was we started going up much higher. It looked like Bitcoin was going to start going up like crazy. It broke all these previous resistances over here, and then it eventually had a massive correction. During this correction, there was a lot of fear and people started again to lose hope. But if you guys are looking at this in a value structure and in a fib structure point of view, you know that, hey, we're just coming down into a retracement area, and if we can hold this retracement area on what's believed to still be a continuation of a bull run, we are, we're then rewarded with a much higher, price for anyone that accumulated within that area. So this looks very similar, although this is much more aggressive, but it's still the same idea where we have deep value Bitcoin and we have this amazing rally that breaks previous resistances, all these previous resistances. And then everyone gets excited. And then now we finally start having a corrective move and everyone is starting to again fear. But let's take a look at this in a realistic fib and value structure point of view. So if you guys remember, real quick, I'm going to go over the smaller picture. Bitcoin, right? If you guys remember, I said that we were coming up into the yellow and we started showing weakness. Yesterday, I said I wouldn't be surprised if the price comes down and tries to find support within the yellow area, because the yellow area overlaps with the 120 moving average in blue quite well. And it will allow, if it finds support, it would allow the price to try to push up into the yellow area a bit more, so we can have a little bit of a better bullish correction in what's an overall bearish move down as we continue to progress through this correction before Bitcoin has the strength to then go much, much higher. Now, I said last night as well, I gave this blue area as a example to strengthen the yellow structure up here. Now the price did break into that blue, but not a whole lot. But it also didn't really exhaust the RSI to the premium side. It didn't really pass that 80 or what is that, 70 mark much. So there's still some background bullish momentum, right? I said that we can continue to look for higher prices to reach this descending resistance overlapping the yellow, and that will allow us to then start to lock in more profit, in my opinion, to find a high before we can come down lower, because this is very, very similar to what we're seeing here. We're seeing a bearish move down where it then starts to build a little bit of a smaller picture uptrend to maximize the retracement area. In this case, it's orange, before it finds a top in a bullish correction or an overall downtrend before it comes down lower. Now, yeah, Bitcoin can easily just start going up a lot right now, but until we have a significant rise where we're starting to trade over this yellow line and trading over the old high the high for Bitcoin, which was just over 109,000, then we want to still look for lower prices down here, right? This area down here, it's from really, I'm looking at somewhere between 85,000 and 100K. Ideally, the lower we go, the better. And that's what I'm looking for as of right now. Until that happens, until we have that bullish confirmation, I'm looking for lower prices. So what does that mean? That means, let's keep it simple, right? We have a bearish trend. We have these lower lows and lower highs forming right in front of us, and we're respecting resistances very well. So what that means is, instead of being overly optimistic or blindly, being a bull, let's look at how high we can go in the short term while still setting ourselves up with a proper SL, stop loss, that will allow us to conserve capital in case we have a shallow bullish recovery. If this confirms to be shallow, we will be protected by our SLs. We won't be losing much, and it will allow us to conserve capital to deploy at a much more attractive discounted level. So I did close out a trade today. The trade that I told you guys I took yesterday that I opened up. Here's the transactions. It's partial, so fractional shares and then whole shares. $10,000 I invested into BitU for a small trade with a SL down here, and I talked about this yesterday. I sold it, and it came out to just over $300 in profit as a overnight swing trade. What that means is, and the reason I sold and I'm being very cautious right now, is because I understand that we are still in the overall bearish move, but we are still holding support. We are still technically making a higher low, and until this swing low gets broken, and especially going below $104,796, I am personally looking to still max out this yellow area a bit more. The moment we start breaking below these levels, then we start looking at trying to max out this red area for another. We come down, we start looking at the bottom of this area, but ideally it will be between 102,144 and $100,000. This is the next area potentially to see the price bounce off of the purple a little bit, to have another bullish correction higher and continue the move down. And when that happens, we will continue to see signs on rather it's not going, or rather it is or won't be having a break of important resistances to confirm that we are going to start moving higher or not. None of that matters right now because we are still here. We're still looking to see if the price is going to max out this area before it comes down lower. I'm going to let it do its thing. I already sold that position, and I am not one to force trades. I know that this high is very, very shallow compared to this one. I know that we're still holding a higher low, we're still within support, but the price can still come down to the 120. It can still maximize this yellow bottom area to a lower portion, so around 104,700, before it could potentially find higher prices. But again, that's starting to become less likely. Again, my view is in an overall proper correction, which will look like this, where we have the price going up, proper retracement considering the whole move higher, so proper retracement down before we can come up higher. So to keep everything simple, if I were to take a trade right now, if the US market was open and I can buy Bitcoin ETFs like BitU, for example, I would be looking at waiting for the price to come down back to the 120 moving average, and then looking to set a SL at the previous swing low. If we break the swing low, or even if we reach it, this opens the pathway for the price to finally come down lower to our ideal target. And you want to make sure you're conserving capital, and you do not want to be holding on to any losing trades. You want to conserve capital, keep your portfolio value up, and be better set off to accumulate at attractive prices. Now, unlike this area where the price maxed out the yellow area or the orange area, this does not have to happen. These are just, trade estimate tools, and they're here to help us, but not to guide us on a guaranteed path. So we hit resistance, very shallow, but we did. And the RSI was also maxing out, which means we want to be very cautious when it comes to taking long trades without having a tight stop loss. If for an example, if any of you bought at this yellow area and you missed out on taking profit, what that means is that you still have a chance, and your chance can be either, the price coming up, maximizing this area a little bit more to the upside, which it absolutely could do, or you can just have your SL stop you, conserve capital, and deploy at a much lower price. So basically what I want to express in this video is that it's extremely important to keep your trades simple, because if you are overly optimistic for taking long trades on what's obviously a bearish trend that's forming, then you could potentially be hurt very, very much. And you want to, control your trading emotions and control your position sizing. You want to control your risk management very well, because again, we are in a corrective move down. We still have so far until we don't break below the swing low. We're not looking for lower prices. As of right now, we're still looking for higher prices in the short term into the bullish retracement area before we can come down much lower. This will allow us to still take potential long positions up into this area, but a proper SL down here would allow us to conserve capital for lower prices. Now, the idea is that we want to come down lower. So again, as we continue to move forward, what I'm personally going to be doing is looking for small short-term, micro supports to take small long trades with a tight SL, just like we've been doing multiple times now, until those SLs break. We can conserve capital and go down lower. But taking those small trades will allow us to still maximize our profit a little bit more to the upside, while having a tight SL that will prevent us from, damaging ourselves too much. So it's as simple as that. I kind of been repeating this a lot now. I don't really know how else to say, and I kind of feel like a broken record, but these reminders are very, very important. It can look something like this, although we're looking at this in a much more micro point of view. But as you can see, we did have a potential right down here to maximize this area once again. So we came down into yellow retracement. We did break below a little bit, but as you can see, the hourly candle didn't hold underneath it, came back up, and then we were able to retest the retracement area before coming down lower. So it could be absolutely something like this right now, where we go up into this area, we come down into the smaller picture support area to allow us to maximize this area once again, which we did. We hit this area once again. Now we're still holding this area, this yellow area down here. We're still holding it. So until we break below 105,000, basically, then we're not looking for lower prices. We're still, until that level, until this yellow area gets broken and the price goes below the 120 moving average, it's simple. We're still looking for small trade opportunities to capture more of this yellow area until the price finds a top somewhere within it, and it can even just hit the descending roof right here, this resistance, before coming down lower and giving us a very, very good discount price opportunity to accumulate. So that's how I'm going to be approaching this. We'll see how the US market looks like tomorrow and where Bitcoin is at tomorrow as well. But we still have the potential of another long trade right here. But again, the moment we break below this yellow, I'm looking for lower prices. And the moment we break below this yellow, the possibility of breaking below these swing lows is very high. It's very high, and we can fluctuate our ways down. If that happens, if we do start, if we confirm that we're going to be going lower, I'll give you guys more areas to look at. It can be as simple as, if this is the high, and we'll keep following the price down with a simple retracement tool, just to keep it simple. And we'll start looking at, taking small trades if the R size shows a support area, or if previous supports in the bigger picture show support area and the price reaches it, we can look at another opportunity to take small long trades and capture a bullish corrective recovery higher as we continue to move down lower. But as of right now, we're still within this one, so there's no reason to worry about the future trends. Let's keep our eyes on Bitcoin to see if it's going to continue to hold support, so we can still take more trades up into this area before going down lower, and I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. But yeah, again guys, keep it simple. Don't be overly blindly optimistic when we're obviously in a downtrend. You see, we're still making these lower lows and lower highs as of right now. So just be very, very cautious on long trades and make sure you're using stop losses. In my opinion, it's very, very important to conserve capital, because if the price breaks down quickly, which it absolutely could, like we've seen here, just quick pumps down, you want to make sure you're protected from that. And we'll keep looking at, lower prices into this purple area potentially in the future until we have a actual bullish confirmation that's sustainable. So then we can start looking at higher prices up here. So again, super short term, I'm still looking for this yellow area to max out a little bit more. And then short term, I'm still looking for lower prices. And then finally, once all of this is done and we can confirm that we are in deep discount trading prices, then I'll start looking at accumulating for a little bit of a longer term swing trade to then maximize as much profit as possible throughout the rest of this year into this green area, which can bring us, like well above 120,000, potentially all the way up to 150,000 conservatively, to be honest. But let's see what happens in the macro news environment. And again, let's keep an eye on micro supports, because this is going to be the leading factor on whether or not we're going to start going lower, and if we're not going to end up seeing this yellow area maxed out. So again, those stop losses are very important. But I think personally, just my own opinion, I still believe we have a very clear evidence of acceptable small long position accumulation opportunity to continue to max out this area a little bit before we can come down lower. So yeah, hopefully this made sense, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.